Hello to anyone listening, and welcome to my second video on the channel. And we're going to be doing a top 5 of my favorite games of all time. Because, as I said in my first video, I think it'll be a very good way for people to learn the kind of media that I enjoy, and a good way for me to express to you guys the kind of things that I'm going to be talking about, because these are examples of what I think are some of the best video games that exist ever. So let's get into it. These are in no particular order because I cannot choose which I like more, because I honestly love all of them very much. So first up, we have Enter the Gungeon, which is a roguelike dungeon crawler based entirely around guns. Your health, armor, coins, and ammo are all based around bullets. It is a super fun, super replayable, enjoyable experience. And there's so many secrets to find in this game that you can spend hours upon hours playing it and still find something new. Even for someone like me, who's a pretty experienced player, I've been playing it for quite a while now. I still can hop into it and find new synergies and new fun ways to play with the game. Every run that you do throughout the dungeon is completely unique. It's a very fun experience. It's hard to put it any other way. The story is, there is a slight story to the background of it all, but you don't really play roguelikes for the story, so it's serviceable. But overall, it's just a very fun experience. Like, every single run is super enjoyable, and you will not be bored anytime you hop into it. And people who made the game, Dodge Roll Studios, they are so passionate. They released, I think, 2 DLCs for free, and they are massive DLCs too that added new characters, new guns, new items, an insanely great development team that really cared about their project, and you can really see it in the product. It is a very good game, and I recommend it, and I love it dearly. Now for some really basic shit that I'm sure you've heard 1,000 times. The Last of Us. The first one, of course. The second one is not as good, but I still don't think as terrible as many people say that it is. But truly and honestly, I think it's in the top 10 games of all time in history, ever. The story, as everyone knows, is a main carry for this game because it's just so beautiful. Joel and Ellie's story is one of loss and love and learning to move on and protecting the ones you care about, even if it makes you do not great things. I don't want to spoil the end for the one person who hasn't seen it, but the split in the fan base shows how much people care about this game. The final action of the main character really shows what kind of person you are, whether you think he is right in his action or wrong, and it shows a lot about you. And any game that can make you learn about yourself, I think is fantastic. More on the gameplay side, though, I love it, but it is a bit janky. And I know it sounds weird, but I think that actually helps the game in a weird way. I mean, you are, a older man in an apocalypse trying to survive with, very few rations in the world. So, you're probably weak, exhausted all the time. You have to aim with analog sticks, so the like swaying that you have to do with that kind of helps into it, and the guns naturally sway. Enemies do have a somewhat unique AI where they will try to ambush you and hide behind cover. It's pretty simple when it comes to the AI for the like human enemies, but the zombie quote unquote enemies are just so amazing. I think everyone has heard the sound of a clicker before, and it is one of the most terrifying sounds that in any video game. Entering a stealth section in the game and you just hear that clicking in the background, and using your hearing sense to see it through the walls, it adds so much tension to the game. And those were my favorite moments, just creeping around, throwing bottles, trying to distract enemies. I love the gameplay. And As I said, it has some jank, but I think it helps go into that survivor in an apocalypse kind of thing. Overall, I think it's one of the best stories ever that has been told through like the gameplay medium. And for a lot of people, including myself, I think it is a core part of my childhood, introducing me to very complicated and rich stories where it's not just good guy versus bad guy, good guy wins. It's a very, your moral compass is tested a lot. It really digs into you and shows you more about yourself, which again I love. Now into a much less complex story, but much better gameplay loop. It is Shadow of Mordor / Shadow of War. Now I know they are separate games, but I like both of them, and what I like about both of them, it's interchangeable between the two. I think Shadow of Mordor is slightly better, but that's why I put both of them here. Plus, I didn't want to take up like 2 slots on the top 5 for basically the same game. I love The Lord of the Rings. Now, I'm not some super fan that knows every single little detail about the world, but I am a very casual enjoyer, and my god, do these games just suck you into this world and not let you go. Now, again, the story is bit shit, and I'm not even going to talk about it because it's cool the first time and serviceable, but I don't care about it. But the gameplay of these games is near perfect in my eyes, almost the most well polished, clean combat ever. We all know the Batman series, free flow combat. Well, it has that with swords, where you can cut orcs in half, or decapitate them, remove their limbs, set them on fire. It's amazing. Mixed with archery that has dozens of uses where you can set things on fire or catch up to fleeing enemies, silently take out an entire camp. It feels really good to use, and it enters slow motion whenever you enter it, so playing on console it makes the aiming a little easier, which is very nice for console players. Stealth mechanic that feels very satisfying, if also very easy. Overall, the base combat mechanics are just amazing. And then there's the cream of the crop, the Nemesis system. Just imagine a game where you can't get past a boss or beat a level, the frustration and anger, the joy of finally overcoming that obstacle. Condense all of that into a single AI system that can learn from you and remembers you and interacts with you. A system where enemies remember you, and if they beat you, they remember beating you. If you kill them, they have a chance to come back to life and even evolve into stronger enemies. I can't do the Nemesis system justice. Having a single enemy that you could just randomly stumble across and he become the biggest threat to Mordor, the interaction between other orcs and your character is just so brilliant. Plus, later on in the games, you can dominate orcs and make them fight each other, and they have unique interactions then too. The game just oozes uniqueness and passion. Truly a fantastic design that is still so fun to return to because there are always new orcs to become your rival. And just to explain like the Nemesis system and the whole gameplay a little bit more, there are orc captains that you can either kill or dominate, and the whole point of the game is to try and dominate the 5 war chiefs, so you can go fight, I don't know, the Hammer of Sauron or something. Again, the story is pretty bad, but having all of these captains that all have unique personalities and can all interact with each other is just such a unique concept that I never have seen before. And to have it in a game like, or have it in a world like Mordor, where it's just these most evil, vile creatures, like the Bone Licker or something that just is covered in bones and talks about what he wants to do to your body after you're dead. It's just so beautiful. And right along with that wickedness, the game has a pretty good sense of humor too. Like you'll have the poet, some orc who's a poet. So when you first see him for the first time, he will sing you a poem about how he's about to fight you. The game is just so good, and the combat loop is so fun. Alright, this is another pretty basic one, but come on, it's Minecraft. Is there much I have to say? I've been playing this game longer than anything else on this list since 2013, almost 10 years off and on. And the creativity in this game has obviously endlessly given me entertainment. You can do whatever you want. This game is endless. I truly believe, especially on PC, that it is an endless game that will forever hold someone's attention. This game will never die because no matter what, there is something in this game that you can do. And truly, I believe this game has ascended beyond just a video game and is truly something special. And I mean, with no sarcasm at all, one of the most important and best media to exist. Sure, the YouTubers that surround the game either irritate people or have their own controversies, but almost everyone I know that around my age has watched Minecraft at some point or played Minecraft at some point, and it has probably helped shape who they are. What you do in Minecraft can tell you a lot about yourself. Are you the builder that likes to stay home and just build? Are you the miner? Do you like to adventure? Do you like to play with mods? They're just so much. This game is endless, and in all honesty, Minecraft is probably the best game ever made just for its reach and influence on the world. And I think it's very cute that the most influential game of all time is just blocks that you place however you want. Lastly on our list is the most recent game that I've played, and one that captured me like no other, and was very surprising with how much it fully consumed me, and that is Ghost of Tsushima. This game was almost crafted for me. The combat is perfect. I have no complaints on the combat. You're a samurai and you have 4 stances for 4 different enemy types, parrying and dodging that must be timed well, attacks that are satisfying and feel great to pull off. The story is fantastic, following a samurai who must betray his code to save his people, constantly struggling between his family ties of samurai and the legend of the ghost that the people have made for him. Plus, the side stories and missions are just as good as the main story, with characters you connect with and want to see how they end up. Genuinely, I have never had a story that made me want to just experience more over and over. The art style is just stunning. Every area of the map has a beautiful, distinct feeling and look. From icy mountains to golden forest and crimson fields, you will never not see something that drops your jaw. Just everything about this game is pure beauty and poetry. I love this game, and it is the first game I've ever tried to 100% because I just could not leave this world. I recommend every one of these games very much. All of them are great. They hold a truly special experience for me, and I think most players that will go to them. And you will not leave any of these games with a negative feeling. As you might have noticed, none of these games are completely multiplayer, because as much as I believe multiplayer games can hold a great experience and very good times for people, I connect more with single player games. But please remember that these are all my opinion, and if you have a different one or would like to discuss any of these games, just comment down below and we can talk. One quick thing I'd like to say before the video ends is that if you couldn't already tell, I'm pretty new to this whole video editing and video making thing. So I know that some of the edits might look a bit shit, and that, you know, it might not be a great video, to be honest. But I just want to say thank you for watching, and I will definitely try to, you know, make it better in the future. But again, this is just a hobby of mine. I'm not gonna, you know, spend thousands of dollars on the best recording equipment. But I do want to make it, you know, an enjoyable experience. So I promise I will try to make the editing better and the audio sound better. So thank you for watching, and I will see you later.